Now that we have learned how to set up a foreign key relation, there are many types of foreign key relationships. There is one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many relationship. Let's say our business comes back to us and they're like, we need a change in the requirements. We do not want the categories anymore with the books. We want a new table like book details that will have some details about a specific book, like number of chapters, number of pages, weight of the book, and so on. And based on some decision making, we decided we need to add a new table. So what we will do, we'll remove these categories. We need to create a new model. You can go here and you can remove this category model, or we can just copy this, paste it one more time. I'll call this as book detail. We'll call it the same, book detail. And the primary key, we'll call this as book detail ID. Then I want to add few more properties here. I'll just go with 3 properties like number of chapters, number of pages, and weight of the book. That being said, this book detail and book will have one-to-one relationship. Book details will apply to only one book, and every book will have a book detail. We can add a required property here for one of the properties, and that should be good. How do we set up that relationship? We did for category, but we need to change this to book detail now. So we'll update that to book detail. And we have the book detail ID. And the entity will be book detail. This looks good. Now this basically tells you that within a book there will be one book detail. You need the one relationship on the book detail as well. So right here, if you want to access the book based on the book detail, you need a property here which says book, and we'll have book right here. Once you have this, this enforces a one-to-one relationship. Book detail has one book, and if you go on book, it has one book detail. We added a navigation property for both of these tables right here. Let's try to add a migration and analyze this condition. We call this add one-to-one book and book detail. Whoops, and it's not allowed. There we go. Let's analyze this migration. First thing, we're dropping the categories. That seems normal. Next, we are adding book detail underscore ID in books, which will be a navigation property. Then we create a table for book detail with a primary key. That looks good. We create index on the foreign key, and we create the foreign key navigation. So that is exactly what we want for a one-to-one relation between book and book detail. That being said, let's update the database and push all the changes to the database. Great, let's analyze the database. We do not have the category anymore, and that's because of business change requirements. Now we have the book detail. If we take a look at the keys, we have the foreign key to book detail now, and everything is as expected. And everything looks as expected. So with that, we learned our first one-to-one relationship, and in that what we did was we have a book class and we have a book detail. In both book and book detail, we need navigations, so we add those objects, and within book we have a navigation property with the integer of book detail underscore ID. But if you notice, one thing is missing here, and that is the foreign key attribute that you have to apply on the navigation property. So now we have learned foreign key, one-to-one relationships, and lots of data annotations.